my my son is a joy, man.
Hmm.
Um, he didn't know I was his dad, right? You know that.
Right. Yeah.
He was put up for adoption by his mom, and when he found out that I was his dad, he he did a wonderful thing, man. Those meetups usually go badly. There are usually a lot of resentments, and we weren't good enough for you, huh? Uh, and that kind, and they don't go well. James didn't do that. He came and he gave me a chance to earn my way into his life and be his friend and be his father. And he's he was talented right away when I met him, but he's grown into a really enormous talent. He's a brilliant producer. He's a brilliant player. Um, he's gotten to be what seems to me to be an even better writer than I am.
Wow.
He wrote the best song on the record.
Wow.
The best song on the record is unquestionably "That I Won't Stay for Long,"
Hmm.
uh, and it's his. He wrote that.
That's amazing.
And when I sing it, it brings me nearly to tears. And I've had several friends call me up crying after they listen to that song.
Wow.
So I know that it's a really wonderful song. I know that he is doing the right thing because when I sing it, I get all emotional. Uh, I can't tell you how good that makes me feel. How proud of him I am. Um, but it's the kind of luck I've had. I've just
Yeah.
been incredibly lucky, man, over and over again.
It's obviously in the genes. I mean, you passed it along somehow because were you surprised how talented musically he is?
Yeah. If anybody ever tries to convince you that it's not genetic, you send them over to me.
So we've been playing the title song from your new album, your beautiful cover of the Joni Mitchell song For Free. And I love the way your voice and Sarah Jaros's voice blend in your new version. It's spellbinding. How did this all come about?
It's a really simple thing. I had been listening to Sarah's record, her latest one, which is called World on the Ground.
Hmm.
And it was oh, I almost said the F word. It was so darn good. uh, it was so amazingly good that I got a hold of her and I said, Sarah, I don't really know you. We've met, but I I'm just stunned by how you're singing and by these songs that you're writing and stuff. And I'd love to sing with you. And she said, yeah, good idea. Definitely a good idea. And I said, I don't have a reason. I don't have a venue. I don't have a job. I just want to do it just for the
Yeah,
fun of it. I
that's
just want to
awesome.
do it just for the fun of it. Right?
Oh,
Um, hang on one sec. Don't
all
go
right.
away.
No, okay.
I'm doing it, Rob. Talk to you later. It's my press guy,
Oh,
making sure I'm talking to you. So I I said, "What do you want to say?" And she said, "I don't know anything." And I said, "What about Joni's For Free? Because I've sung it a bunch. I love it."
yeah.
She said, "I love that song." James did such an evocative, beautiful piano track for it,
Yeah, it
man,
is
that I
beautiful.
have a
Mm,
better vocal than I've ever done on it.
that's great.
And we sent it off to her, and she sent it back with that harmony on it, which is like an instruction booklet on how to sing harmony. She's been doing harmony since she was in bluegrass group when she was 12. I mean, she can really do it. So it was a it was just so good. I called her back up and I said, "Listen, that's just too good. I got to put it on my record. Is that okay?" She said, "I'd be honored to be on your record." So
Wow.
that's how that happened.
That's incredible. Well, let's give it a listen right now. This is the new from the new David Crosby album For Free with Sarah Jarosz on KVNA. All right, there's the title track from David Crosby's new album For Free. David's here with us on KVNA. Now, besides Sarah Jarosz, you collaborate with quite a few other artists on the new album, like Michael McDonald and Donald Fagen. Tell us how this all came about.
Well, the single on the record is that first song,
Right.
"River Rise."
Uh huh.
And I asked Michael if he'd come sing with me on it because he's my friend and we've sung on each other's stuff before,
Right.
and he's the best singer in the country.
Yeah.
And so I asked him if he'd do it, and when he was there, we said, "We don't have the second verse yet." He said, "Give me a pencil." and all of a sudden we had a very good second verse.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's fun to write with. Michael's an absolutely wonderful writer and a
Yeah.
wonderful cat and the best singer in the country. There's nobody close.
Yeah.
So he only does it for friends, and I only do it for friends. But he did it.
And
It's
I know
great. I'm
you're
very
also
grateful.
fans of Donald Fagen's work too, and getting him
Oh,
involved.
Steely Dan's my favorite band. Has been ever since Asia.
Yeah.
Well, ever since Ricky Don't Lose That Number,
Oh
really.
yeah, absolutely. That's great. And through your career, you've collaborated with many artists. Starting with that amazing lineup of the Byrds back in the '60s, and then your various incarnations with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. When you look back over your illustrious career, what is one of the moments that shines brightest in your memory?
Illustrious career.
Yeah, illustrious. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? Somebody asked me that recently. I think probably the moment that, if you're talking moments, I think the best one was when I went to see the Beatles do in Abbey Road, and they were doing Sgt. Pepper.
Oh.
And we'd just really gotten as high as we could get. And they sat me on a stool in the middle of this great, huge room. And they rolled some speakers up on either side of me. And then they walked back up the stairs to the studio, to the control room, laughing. And I didn't understand what was going on. I was very high. And then he played Day in the Life.
Wow.
And they had just finished Day in the Life. I was, I think, the first person they played it for.
Wow.
And I just nearly lost my mind.
Yeah.
It was beyond belief good. So I think that's probably my favorite one.
That's amazing. So you've been a sailing enthusiast all your life. I know you got a sailboat when you were very young, and then of course you got to write that song, with Paul Kantner, "Wooden Ships." Tell us about your sailing experiences. What is like something in your sailing experience that really stands out?
Well, I've been sailing all my life. I
Yeah.
started when I was 11,
Wow.
and I wound up owning a schooner, a 74-foot schooner, a really good schooner, an Alden schooner. And the ocean doesn't know who you are,
Mm.
and it doesn't give a shit who you are. It's not out to get you. It's not out to get you, but it will eat your lunch if you don't treat it respectfully.
Right.
And it's a very good counter to the "I'm so important" of show business. Show business is not a real world.
Yeah.
The ocean is a real world. So it was a very good thing for me. Very good thing over my life. And I've done some long voyages. I've sailed 3,000 miles of open ocean.
Wow.
Middle, I was 1,500 miles from the nearest land. And I'm comfortable out there. I like it. I love sailing.
Wow.
I sailed all over the Pacific and all over the Caribbean and through the canal several times. And I missed my boat. I wish I hadn't sold it now. But I couldn't keep it up. I was broke and couldn't keep it up. You can't let it go down. So I sold it to somebody who could take care of it. Then I sold my publishing and had lots of money, and I wished I hadn't sold the boat.
I love your story of just being out on the ocean in the real world, because you're right. We get sidetracked here by so many things and keeping distracting.
Well, it's an artificial construct. Our world in show business is an artificial construct. It's not, wind and waves and weather.
Yeah.
And sun. That stuff's real.
That's amazing. That's great. Well, congratulations on your new album, David. I've been listening to it, and it's one of your best works. It's just incredible. I'm so glad that you've made this record, and it comes out tomorrow. We're talking earlier about Joni Mitchell, and one of my favorite records was your very first solo record, If I Could Remember My Name. If I Could Only Remember My Name. And there you had a lineup of amazing musicians on there, including Joni Mitchell. And she sings with you on what I think is the best song on the album, Laughing. And I thought I'd go out today laughing with David Crosby from your first solo album.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much for joining us today on KVNA. Thanks so much, David Crosby.